Hello peeps and hello peppers and welcome to Miðvikudags Manatee. This paper in my sketch booklet is so thin that you see the manatees and other creatures like from 3 pages back. So I decided to kind of try to use the outline to make this calf again with coffee and watercolor. This is what comes out when you mix light blue with coffee brown. Is anyone else here also watching those color mixing reels on Facebook when you kind of don't want to think about something? Or like just need something to wind down? I mean, okay, the noise is a little bit strange. Like, I dislike most scratching sounds, but if I'm with a spatula on a canvas, okay, this is my own sound. So yeah, sort of like some people say that noise and smells don't bother them with their own children, but with other children they do. So yes, the paintings are my own children, and my own children are always in development, and I actually really like the idea of drawing a manatee calf because recently I'm thinking so much about my childhood and things that we didn't understand at the time because we didn't know about autism. Actually, this is a really nice manatee color. There in the color mixing videos on Facebook, there is even a color of this type, but more purplish, that is called manatee. But I don't know usually what the colors are called. As a small child, I actually had an autistic calming ritual that was looking at all these samples for sofa dressings, like both of artificial leather and plastic and woven fabric, like the way you had it in the 80s. And I love touching these little patches, and let's say I didn't even associate them with a sofa. I mean, like the adults did a good job explaining to me that was for sofas, and we were not buying a sofa because we already had a sofa. But I loved so looking at these samples and touching these samples and trying to memorize the names, but not to so much avail. So yes, sometimes I am a little bit like a shapeless blob, and as a kid, it was common for me to feel like a shapeless blob because I couldn't communicate what I really wanted or needed. So, and actually, so far, this week is shaped by learning to communicate to people how I foster friendships or how I work on a project. And yes, someone who knows me really well admonishes me a lot in a loving way that I'm doing too much, like both in the pen pal department and in the project department, and that I'm missing the overview and can't give people a feeling I value their efforts properly. And I'm okay with a good friend saying that who sees me like once a week, because they basically know how I operate. Sometimes better than me, but it's also like an important process to tell myself and others, okay, that one you misunderstand a little bit. I operate differently. which is like such and such, and then the person can still say, I don't believe you, or I do believe you, or I would believe you if I actually saw a result of what you describe. Most people actually don't believe me that I'm trying to start an art business. And I mean, like, of course, now I'm hearing this song, there can be miracles when you believe, the hope is frail, and so forth. But, I mean, let's get real, even for miracles, you have to prepare the way, because, as I mostly quote in connection with my favorite movie, Interstate 60, the road just creates itself when you start walking on it. And I think you might remember that when I talk about Interstate 60, I also talk about the 8-ball. Yes, I recently saw an 8-ball at a store, and the 8-ball is actually like a form of oracle that was also like explained on the internet, that it was invented because people always have liked oracling, the feeling of control, the feeling of being able to look into the future. And the regular 8-ball has like 20 options for answers, and they are often not yes and no answers, even though you have to ask the 8-ball yes and no questions. But they are a little bit like to think outside the box. And but actually, when I asked my like digital 8-ball in the phone, I have an 8-ball app, yes. If I would win the children's literature competition with my drawings and my elephant story, actually the 8-ball said it's certainly so. And I know we shouldn't take that literally. Yes, and talking about literature, I really appreciate your comments. And I really appreciate when people tell me, like, I see you even after some years, or like even when we kind of lost touch. And I like people complimenting on the drawings, because the drawings are my way of communicating. But please, please, please be mindful that these comments are public. And let's say if you decide to share your text work or something here in the comments, I don't have any control, and you don't have any control over who reads that. And that said, I believe in the good in people, and I will read that like after my appointments, when someone sends me something, and I probably have to make a sketch about what is being said to understand it in the first place. So, okay, my 8-ball is kind of convinced, in commas, that I can win the children's illustration and literature competition. And I know I take many things literal with the autism. I shouldn't take that literal, but I should take it like as a sign to like really start and keep going on the way, because like Interstate 60 vibes, it is about keeping going. And like when I set up for this video, I actually didn't find my conventional tarot cards, but then I remembered that like just yesterday I got done with all the sketches for the tarot game that I want to exhibit, and all the additional sketches of the elements. So for the element card, when I just opened it at a random page, we got fire. Like this is Puffin with a bagpipe. I wanted to say backpack. Yes, we all have our luggage, but this I like bagpipes. I mean, they are really loud, so when there is a bagpipe performance, I sometimes have to stuff my ears, and I still hear enough. But you know that puffins have very prominent cheeks, and the last bagpipe performance that I saw, the player had to blow up the cheeks really a lot. So actually this was a really fitting puffin instrument, and I think there are even puffins in Scotland. And I also once saw a thing on YouTube where, like in a talent show, someone played bagpipes, period, and then suddenly he lit the the Bourdon pipes on fire. I don't know how and I don't know why, but it was a huge gag, and it was like, to me, the bagpipes have become something personal and political. So yes, after all these conversations, what I do and what I don't do, I should think about what gives me the fire in my life, what gives me the energy to fight for a good cause. What is the most important thing in my life? And hello, we are like beginning Leo season, and Leo is a fire sign, so I hear. And actually, also like for tarot cards. Okay, I'm not advertising the paper glue here, but maybe that's also a good sign, because like in German you say Tapetenwechsel, like wallpaper change when you're like changing your surroundings. And I don't plan to move. This is my home here, but a lot of these tarot readings that I listen to on YouTube talk about some kind of relocation. So I'm not planning on moving houses as such, but I am actually planning on giving up some old connections that will make sense later. So we have the magician here, and of course, talking about 8-ball, this one has a crystal ball. Actually, I learned in my book about Wicca that the crystal ball is just something to concentrate. And I know there are really beautiful crystal balls out there with these needle structures. I love them, but they are expensive. And I also had a serious conversation with someone yesterday about not carrying too many new things in my apartment. I don't know what sense magicians' caps have in reality, but let's say, okay, even when Harry Potter came out, I was sort of overfed by the hype about Harry Potter. So I never consumed the entire array of films and books and etc. But I reshaped a Christmas hat, and then I walked around and claimed that was my Harry Potter hat. So maybe that was like, let's say, taking on a role of finally finding a niche of being proud of me and my stuff. I don't know how intelligent puffins are, but of course they are presented a lot as a touristic icon. And I don't know how intelligent I am. I have never mathematically measured that, but when the right context is given, I'm saying that I may be intelligent, because like all the people go like, oh, you are so smart. Then I say, well, okay, but I don't have access to the intelligence. Then, of course, this magician has a table with a cloth where you don't necessarily see everything that's under the table. So I'm actually making a real effort here to hold the camera in a way that you don't see all my mess. And I really like my tablecloth that is on the walker, and that is like from a local artist who I appreciate dearly. And okay, this is a camel with an astronaut boot, and there is a rainbow bridge, because I'm kind of into like both believing that all kinds of creatures can do all kinds of things if you just believe. Here's an oxygen thing. Yes, you need equipment to facilitate doing whatever you want to do. And with a rainbow bridge, to me, this is also like a meaning of the spectrum, and a meaning of like, even though this may be a risky topic for some, when life ends for some sort of reason, I want to do that in dignity. And I actually, when the right context appears, I talk to people about how I want my end of life to be, because the death belongs to life somewhat. So Yes, I am passionate about living and going over the Rainbow Bridge in dignity. And while I live, I want to live intensely. So have an intense good day. Bye bye.